Mayor Adams' investment in after-school programs. New York sues the Trump administration over cuts to services for unauthorized immigrants. New York officials will distribute rebate checks this fall. And Zohran Mamdani's call for city-owned grocery stores. From WNYC, this is NYC Now. I'm Janae Pierre. 40 new schools across New York City will begin offering after-school programming in the fall. It's part of the Adams administration's push to make after-school universal over the next 3 years. Mayor Eric Adams says that's another 5,000 elementary-age students
who would be able to participate in sports, robotics, the arts, tennis lessons, all of those things that children should enjoy after the classroom experience. Working class New Yorkers deserve nothing less.
Adams says the city is investing $21 million in free after-school programming this year. His plan is to ramp up after-school seats in the coming years and eventually serve 184,000 students in kindergarten through 8th grade. New York is one of several states suing the Trump administration over new rules that block undocumented immigrants from accessing federally funded health clinics, food banks, and other safety net programs. The complaint argues the new rules put funding for many social services at risk. The New York Attorney General's office says the affected programs usually serve anyone in need, regardless of immigration status. U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says the goal is to avoid using tax dollars on programs that incentivize illegal immigration. The agency did not comment on the lawsuit. Federal aid cuts won't stop New York state officials from sending out rebate checks this fall. WNYC's Jimmy Vilkine has the details.
Most families in the Empire State are on track to get a $400 rebate check this autumn. Governor Kathy Hochul says the payments are going forward even as the state braces for cuts to federal aid caused by the tax and spending bill signed by President Trump. State officials say that measure will cost the state $750 million this year. Hochul says New York can make up that shortfall and still spend around $2 billion on the rebate checks.
I think now more than ever, families across New York will appreciate what I did in standing up for them and putting money back in their pockets. So yes, they're going out.
State officials say the checks will be mailed starting in October. The rebates will not be made available via direct deposit.
A mayoral frontrunner is calling for city-owned grocery stores across the 5 boroughs. But New York City already has them. More on that after the break.
This is NYC Now.
Mayoral frontrunner Zohran Mamdani has promised to experiment with city-owned grocery stores, one in each borough. Many progressives like the idea, while some critics have called it radical socialism. But WNYC's Ryan Kylath explains both sides are missing a key point. New York already has city-owned grocery stores.
Have you been coming here a long time?
I used to come with my grandmother, so I've been coming ever since I was a little girl. We're talking about, well, I won't even mention how long, but a very, very long time, like decades.
Angel G lives in Midtown, but she comes down to the Lower East Side every week to shop the produce stands at Essex Market.
I was making my empanadas, so I came here to get the discos, which is just like the patties, and then the maduros, which are the sweet plantains, but you have to wait like a few days, and then they get dark, and they're so sweet. The yuca, all the other...
Yeah, all those root vegetables that I don't even know the names of.
They're so good.
People sometimes think of the Essex Street Market as a fancy food hall. And it has that stuff, too. Stalls selling $40 balsamic vinegars or exotic alpine cheese. But it also has 5 grocery stands, like Viva Fruits and Vegetables, run by a Dominican-American family since the Giuliani administration. The prices are great. 5 limes for $1. Every fresh herb you can name, $1 a clamshell. Scallions were $1 for 2 bunches until the inflation spike. Now they're $1.50.
Yeah, that's why everybody come here.
Lucy Valle lives on Rivington Street.
How many years I live here? 1974.
Wow. Have you been coming to Essex Market that whole time?
Yeah, that one.
Does everybody come here?
Yeah. That's right. From the neighborhood, because in the supermarket, it's just expensive. It's very expensive.
There are 5 supermarkets within 5 blocks of here, including a Trader Joe's and a Fine Fair. Viva beats them all on price. And that's on purpose. The city owns Essex Market, which is managed by the nonprofit EDC, the Economic Development Corporation. It's one of 6 city markets still standing from a LaGuardia-era program that moved pushcart vendors off the street in exchange for cheap rent in city buildings. As an EDC spokesperson said, these public markets aren't here to make a profit, but to provide a service, community access to healthy food. That is exactly what worries people like Gristedes owner John Katzmatidis.
You're not going to close down Gristedes.
Oh, well, I'm not going to fight City Hall. If City Hall is running the grocery stores, let them run it. Give it away for free and let the people eat.
He worries, on Fox Business here, that private groceries wouldn't be able to compete with city-owned stores. Nevin Cohen of the CUNY Urban Food Policy Institute says those fears are overblown.
The government has been in the food retail business for generations, and government, supermarkets, green markets, and other kinds of food programs are all around us.
He says one way the city tries to improve food access is through the FRESH program, or Food Retail Expansion to Support Health, which gives tax exemptions and other subsidies to grocery stores in underserved areas. A city comptroller report last year found it provided modest benefits for health and affordability at a relatively low cost, $3 or $4 million a year.
Some of the other comments in news articles were saying that, I lived in Poland in the 80s and the stores had no food. People think of Soviet-style food retail, and that's not what this is about.
But Mamdani's proposal differs from these programs in a key way. He's proposing no rent and no property taxes, not low rent and tax breaks. The scale is different, but the thrust is the same. Lowering costs for grocery businesses so they can pass on the savings and improve food access. Cohen says there's plenty of room to design a program flexibly, even soliciting bids from private operators.
The city runs the sewer system, but it uses private contractors for construction, for repairs, for maintenance. And we don't think of it as a public-private partnership for the sewer system of New York. We think of it as New York City Sewers.
Mamdani's been fairly quiet on the grocery proposal since his primary upset. We reached out to the campaign several times for comment with no response. As it turns out, he may not have to pilot new city-owned grocery stores at all, since they're already here.
That's WNYC's Ryan Kailath. It's been really nice outside, hasn't it? New Yorkers can enjoy the somewhat cooler weather this week before temperatures start climbing again when we get closer to the weekend. The National Weather Service says highs Wednesday are expected to be in the low to mid-80s. But higher heat indices will return Thursday when real field temperatures climb into the 90s. They'll possibly hit the low 100s Friday, which meteorologists say could be one of the hottest days of the season. Thanks for listening to NYC Now from WNYC. I'm Janae Pierre. We'll be back tomorrow.